Good evening. My name is Amit Mahadevia, and our capstone project this semester is evaluating sustainability metrics for non-governmental organizations. Our faculty advisor is Suzanne DeRoche. So I'd like to start off the presentation by asking the audience a question. What's the difference between an organization simply stating that they're sustainable or an organization actually being sustainable? Well, to our group, it meant for an organization to be able to measure and collect data. When organizations measure sustainability, they're able to improve their performance and have an increased sense of transparency. Measuring sustainability allows for rational decision-making among organizations' operations. So I'd like to take a moment and define two key words that we will be using throughout the remainder of our presentation. The first one is a key performance indicator, or KPI. A KPI is a quantifiable measure used to gauge performance. An example of one is annual water consumption of an organization. A framework is the second term, and it is a group of KPIs. And an example of a framework is GRI, or Global Reporting Initiative. So recently, there's been an increased pressure to report on environmental, social, governance, and financial criteria for both for-profit and nonprofit organizations. Regarding the for-profit sector, sustainability is often included within business and corporate strategy. This helps them to have an improved bottom line and to really secure and gain customers. The for-profit side inherently has a lot more money to invest in sustainability reporting. That's why a lot of these frameworks like Bloomberg, Thomson, SASB are catered towards the for-profit sectors. Sustainability metrics is also very important for non-governmental organizations. It helps them validate their credibility, and it really helps them show their missions and values. The difference is that NGOs don't really have the resources to collect the vast array of data that these frameworks require to fully report. So the scopes of these frameworks tend to lean towards the private sector and really don't align with NGOs' missions. So our client this semester is the World Resources Institute, or WRI. The WRI has partnered with 10 other organizations to create the Sustainability Managers Roundtable. These organizations vary in both size and characteristics. Let's take EDF, for example, Environmental Defense Fund. This organization has less than 10 offices, approximately 500 employees, and operates only within the United States. On the other hand, an organization like World Bank has approximately 130 employees, 130 offices, 15,000 employees, and operates at a global level. So the vast difference in characteristics between these NGOs makes it extremely difficult to benchmark performance against one another. So our client asked us to create a benchmarking tool so that these types of organizations can accurately measure their performance and benchmark their performance against each other. So in order to create a framework to meet our client's needs, we had to do quite a bit of research. This included academic research on sustainability metrics, understanding the existing frameworks that are currently out on the market, surveying each of the 11 SMART members to understand their organizations, interviewing with a few of these SMART members to get even a more in-depth understanding, and interviewing with subject matter experts. All of this culminated for us to develop a preliminary benchmarking tool, which we had the opportunity to test among a few of the SMART members. We got feedback from them, refined our tool, finalized it, and called it the SMART tool. And the SMART tool includes 32 KPIs, or recommendations, that NGOs should report on to benchmark their performance. So we examined 25 frameworks, and it consisted of an impressive 1,300 key performance indicators. We needed to distill this list down to a manageable list in which under-resourced organizations can report on. So some of the screening criteria we used is this KPI feasible to collect for all of the organizations? And is it a priority for the SMART members? Does it align with their mission and values? So after the 32 KPIs were selected, they were categorized into the framework called the SMART tool. And our tool really touches on environmental, social, governance, and financial categories. It also breaks down into subcategories, which are listed on the screen. These categories are the main areas of concern when measuring sustainability and ethical impact. Our SMART tool is an Excel database which the user can report annually on these specific KPIs that are listed on the screen. Under the environmental category and energy subcategory, we include both quantitative and qualitative KPIs. Quantitatively, we ask for annual purchase electricity in kilowatt hours. Qualitatively, we ask for policies and practices that help measure an organization's energy usage and reduction. So why do we ask for both quantitative and qualitative? Well, policy helps improve existing data. Let's take a policy, for example, in an organization that wants to implement retrofitting LED lights within their building. That's the policy side of it. But after you implement these lights, you have a reduction in kilowatt hours or energy usage, which is really measured in the quantitative KPI. So we had the opportunity to pilot our SMART tool with some of the SMART members, and here is annual electricity usage for 2 of the organizations. Organization A, shown in orange, has used 2.3 million kilowatt hours in 2014, compared to Organization B, shown in blue, which has used 500,000 kilowatt hours in 2014. So is this actually comparable? Our team really argued that it wasn't, and the only way to compare this type of data between 2 different organizations is to normalize it. So this screen shows the same data, same energy data from the previous slide, but normalized among full-time employees. Organization A had 540 employees. It was normalized, so we divided our kilowatt hours by the number of employees, and we got 4,810 kilowatt hours per full-time employee, and Organization B had 130 employees. So let's take a look at the first chart again. It looks like Organization A is extremely inefficient and is using way more energy than Organization B. After normalizing, we see that the data is relatively similar, and in the fact that both the organizations are using kind of near the same amount of kilowatt hours per full-time employee. So this really gets to the point that normalizing allows organizations within the SMART group to benchmark their data against each other. And our tool can normalize data for all of our quantitative KPIs. The final point I'd like to make about our tool is that it's important for organizations to measure the same scope for all of their KPIs. Our tool allows organizations to report at the basic level, which is reporting on just one building or headquarters, or at an advanced level, which is 2 or more buildings or a certain percentage of the organization. We really hope that organizations strive for the advanced level, because the more that you increase your scope of reporting, the more transparent you can become and the more you can improve your operations and performance. So after we developed our tool, we realized that we needed to have some type of implementation plan, both on the SMART member level, which is those 11 organizations, and the group level, which is the SMART group itself. On the member level, we expect each organization to establish an interdisciplinary team. This may include a sustainability practitioner and representatives from HR, finance, facilities, and these people are really, they help collect the data for the tool that will be implemented within the SMART tool. Second, we can't stress enough that keeping your scope consistent across all KPIs is very important. So we really want the team members who implement the SMART tool to make sure that they're using the same scope across all KPIs. And third, we want to make sure each organization identifies a point of contact to input the data within the tool, make sure it's correct, aggregate it, and submit it to the SMART organization or SMART group. So we also have the implementation on the SMART level. So the SMART group, the 11 organizations, they need to identify a leader, a SMART leader, to collect, integrate, and benchmark all of the 11 organizations' data against each other. This person is also in charge of making sure that each organization is annually monitoring and reporting their sustainability data, because if we don't have that, then there's no way for them to compare their performance. And third, we expect the SMART leader to set up working sessions for groups to help learn and improve on the sustainability metrics that they've reported on. And I will take questions if you guys have any.
Hi, my question is about control, if the organizations all own or rent, and how you dealt with that sort of control of what they can do to make changes?
Yeah, that's a really unique question. A lot of the organizations they did rent, so sometimes they didn't have opportunities to improve their energy efficiency or water usage or even monitor it, especially in countries outside the U.S. that it's really less important, I guess. So we try to pull as much data as we can from our test cases, and that was really one thing that we had found out. Within a lot of these organizations, they're using like LEED buildings, LEED certified buildings, and within the U.S., smart metering, and understanding that getting that data from bills is very, very easy. So globally, that is a challenge, and I think that working on some type of plan to help pull that data on a global scale would be very useful for the organizations as well.